When I tell you Jan cannot take a hint to save her life. Hey y'all, hey, it is time for another episode of the Deep Dive with Toya Creates. Now, if you love Beyond the Gates as much as I do, join me here Monday through Friday for the Deep Dive. I am also on TikTok. And if you love content like this, please like, comment, follow, and subscribe. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments about these storylines. So, it is Friday, April 24th. Let's get into Beyond the Gates. So, we see Vanessa and Joey. Vanessa's waiting at the condo for her man. She's put on a little number and she looks good. Vanessa always looks good. So Joey arrives and he's pleased to see his partner there waiting. And, she's brought some of her items over because Joey told her to. Now, one of the items that we saw today was a picture frame with some random people in it. Now, Joey was like, who are these people? Because it's clearly just the stock image that comes in the frames. And, Vanessa made up this whole little story. I forget what she called the people, but, whatever. We won't go with it. So Joey was going with it too. And so Vanessa then took out her camera because she wanted to take a selfie with her man. And Joey was reluctant at first. He was just like, don't post this. This is basically a violation of his boundaries because the man is a mobster. He don't have time for selfies. Vanessa, why don't you know this? You want to be a mall so bad, you got to know the code and the rules. But Joey, since he's a sucker for love, he does it anyways because she promises not to post it. So then they're looking at their shots together and Vanessa's like, oh, Mr. Armstrong, you may not like pictures, but you're so photogenic and this and that. I think we should go with this one. And oh, by the way, I picked up some printer paper today. Photo paper today for the printer. So she goes on over and prints out this picture and she puts it in the frame and Joey likes it and he says you could put up however many pictures you want if you're gonna do this and not air me out on social media. And also bring Donnell and Deanna, put them on the wall too. Now Deanna would burn that damn condo down, but I love Joey. I know he's a polarizing character, but I love me some Joey Armstrong because he is authentically himself and he typically doesn't make excuses for what he does unless he has to, like offing Doug. But yeah, that was basically it for Vanessa and Joey. They put the picture on a mantle of some sort. And Vanessa is just so pleased. She's like, these pics going up are a statement. And Joey's like, yes, you belong here with me. You better get your woman, Joey. So we also saw Smitty and Jacob, a.k.a. Rashad. And Jacob is freaking out because he has called Greyson several times and cannot get a response through calls or texts. So Jacob and Smitty are talking this through. When it hits Jacob, he's like, I bet Greyson went to the one place I told him not to go, and that would be Ashley's. And we know that Jacob is correct, but Smitty's like, I don't know, maybe he didn't, and blah blah blah. But Jacob's like, no, where else would he go? He said he was in distress. He will not pick up. He's not at the hospital. He's not at home. Where else could he be? So Smitty says that he will look into it tomorrow because it's late. And Jacob has basically told him, like, there's nothing else we could do tonight since I don't know where Greyson is and he won't answer. And so Smitty agrees to go to the hospital tomorrow to see where Greyson may have gone or where he might be. And he's also going to look into this Rachel woman because that's who they think is behind the impaler situation in terms of whoever Greyson reports to. We have not seen this woman as far as I know, and this is just what Smitty thinks he found when he hacked into Nicole's computer. And that was basically it for them. So moving on, we also saw yuck, Nicole and Carlton. Now, I hate Carlton because I feel like he's a snake and a disloyal friend. And that's a major issue for me as a person. So I don't care nothing about Carlton and what he wants. So, and we haven't seen him since the double date from hell that went left. And after that double date, his regular date with Nicole went left when he offended her. Because he basically said that the version that Nicole is today is vastly different from what he knew. And Nicole took that as, oh, you don't like me? You don't like the woman I'm becoming? Get out. And then she went over to Kyle's. But okay. So Carlton came in and he wanted to apologize for offending her and clear the air. And he said that he is not great with expressing his feelings all the time. But what he meant to say was, while she is discovering this new version of herself, the woman that he already knew was pretty remarkable. And, he meant no disrespect by it. But he's just trying to tell her, like, you were good before. You don't have to change. And I still am very attracted to you. So then Nicole softens up and she also apologizes because she said she was really pissed off from the double date. And, I think she did a little too much. Even though I don't like this man, but she did go off a little much. So they are still talking and Carlton offers to take Nicole out to dinner because her wedding anniversary to Ted is coming up and Carlton wants to kind of distract her from that. So Nicole is talking about how, she doesn't know how she's going to react on that day and yada, yada, yada. When, somebody is opening the door and it is Kyle. Now, I like Kyle because he is giving Nicole what she wants in every sense of the word. So Kyle accidentally interrupts Carlton and Nicole this time. It's not on purpose because one time Kyle got a little snippy and he purposely interrupted or made it known that he and Nicole had in front of Carlton. He did that on purpose just to piss him off. So, this time though, Kyle was genuine and this was an accident. Now, let me tell you, Nicole 100% prefers Kyle over Carlton because the way she jumped up, lit up when that man came in tells me everything I need to know. So Carlton decided to be the bigger man today because he and Kyle got in trouble for that before. Nicole has her little reverse harem and she runs a tight ship, okay? So Carlton's like, you know what, man? It's all right. I was on my way out. You can have my seat. Kyle's like, I don't mind if I do. So as I said, Carlton leaves and Nicole is it is like night and day. And I cannot be the only one who sees it. Please tell me if I am. But she getting Kyle drinks and he's talking about the time he was spending with his kids and, sharing this very animated story. And Nicole is just, she loves in, and then they kiss. So, Kyle leaves the office and Carlton happens to be at the nurse's station. And Kyle goes over to Carlton and he apologizes for interrupting. Now, first, Carlton is like, man, what you apologizing for? Because if I had walked in, I wouldn't care anything about you. But then, because what was that noise? Anyways, but then, Carlton lightened up and he was just like, I'm just messing with you. And they have a quick little joke of like, are we the only people vying for Nicole's attention? And Kyle was like, oh my God, I hope we are. And that was funny. And so Carlton and Kyle also were part of this aggressive basketball game a few weeks ago where it was Carlton, Kyle, Andre, Ted, and Isaiah. And Carlton and Kyle were taking the game way too seriously because they were basically competing for Nicole in this game. But this time they are going to have another friendly game and it's not going to be as serious and things are good with them. So then we see Kyle head off and Nicole's in the background and she's just staring. You don't really know what's going on, but I feel like maybe she is finally ready to make a decision because when she and Kyle were talking, she was just telling him how much she appreciates him being able to go with the flow of where she is at in her life. Because on some days she wants to be serious, but then after thinking about all she went through with this Ted separation, she's like, she's not even close. And Kyle is just like, I appreciate your transparency because, he's getting back into the dating game himself because his wife unfortunately passed away. And he's also a traveling, is it orthopedist? Something like that. And so he did that purposely because he just was trying to get away from, the depression or the grief that he's been feeling. And it's better for him to just keep it moving instead of setting down some roots. But recently he bought a condo and he gave Nicole a key to said condo. And, she was like, if I would have known you were in town early, I would have been in your condo waiting for you. Carlton don't get that energy, but okay. So, yeah, I think Kyle and Nicole are the better match for each other. I think they are on the same page. And I think Kyle sparked something in Nicole that Carlton just can't. I mean, because Carlton also told Kyle, I've been after her for years, for decades. But that was your best friend's wife. Whatever. So, yeah, that's basically what went on with the Kyle, Carlton, Nicole of it all. And I hope she picks Kyle. So, we also saw Naomi dropping by to see Danny. She claimed that she wanted to just have an impromptu, movie night. And she brought some snacks and some brownies for her and her mom to get together. And Danny's thrilled to see Naomi, but she's also like, girl, you can't play me. I'm your mother. I had you. I know when, something's on your mind. So what's the real reason that you're here? And so then Naomi just starts talking about how it's been very difficult and how she feels a little lonely because Jacob's not there. And, she's just talking about that some more. And Danny is encouraging her and supporting her. I mean, this is one of the things I really like about this soap because they get into the family dynamics of support and I love it. Okay. Sorry about that. I have a lot going on right now. But yeah, I just love to see how the family dynamics play out in this soap. And I love how the family is really there for each other. So Naomi gets a chance to return the support because Danny starts opening up about just being disappointed that she and Chelsea are apparently not going to work together anymore. Because Chelsea shut down her offer to carry some Chelsea Cat bags in this Tatum shoot that she just did. And you know, Danny loves that Naomi and Bill have a shared interest in the legal field, and she did have that with Chelsea when she was her momager, when Chelsea was a model. But you know, Naomi was like, could I, you know, real talk, Chelsea felt overwhelmed by you because Danny tends to do a little too much. And Chelsea is just loving the freedom of doing her own thing. And Danny is very proud of her and she takes that very well. But, you know, she just expresses to Naomi that she's a little sad about it and she just misses how things used to be. And, you know, sometimes she cries a little bit about it. But, you know, it just is what it is. So Danny knows that she's blessed. She just misses how things were. And sometimes she just needs to be needed the mom of the younger kids, basically. So Naomi was just like, you will always be needed. Woo, woo, woo. Come and hug. I love it. You will always be needed. You don't have to feel like that. And then she was like, well, well, are you and Andre going to have some kids? And Danny was like, girl. She was like, as cute as a curly-haired little Andre with a camera would be, hell no. And I agree. I was a young mom. I would not go back at 42 for nothing, for no one. Okay? So, yes, Danny. Now, speaking of the way things used to be, we see Bill and Hayley. They arrive at Uptown. Bill has purchased this heifer a new wedding ring set, and it is nice. It's real nice. She don't deserve it, but it's real nice. So then they see Chelsea at the bar, and Bill and Hayley walk over, and he's like, oh, are you meeting Madison here? And Chelsea's like, no, Madison's at work, so I'm just here alone, but it's fine. You know, you guys go and have your little date night. And Hayley's like, oh, would you like to join us? Oh. And Bill is just thrilled because Chelsea says yes, and he's like, oh, it's going to be a Hamilton affair tonight. As soon as Bill and Chelsea turn their backs to go walk to the table, Hayley's like, I hate her, but she's fun to watch. Because, you know, she don't mean nothing she's saying. So then they're at the table, and they're just catching up. And Hayley's trying to, you know, all these pleasantries. Like, oh, how's Chelsea Cat doing? I'm so proud of you. I bought all these bags. I'm sorry, that was Hayley saying all of that to Chelsea. And Chelsea's just, you know, being polite, but she don't want to say too much in front of Hayley, and it's obvious. So Hayley picks up on that, and she's like, well, Bill, I think Chelsea wants to speak to you privately, and I don't mind just going to the bar while you guys talk. And Bill's like, oh, are you sure? Yes, she's sure. Get up and go. So she goes to the bar where she starts flirting with the bartender when your husband is right there. She's just like, oh, this drink and so Bill and Chelsea start having real talk. You know, they talk about this malpractice case, and Bill says, you know, he and Naomi are going to fight Madison's case, basically like Madison is one of us. And Chelsea's appreciative of that, and even though she's very worried about everything. So then Chelsea also wants to talk to Bill about Hayley, because Chelsea has heard about this Lynette situation, this Tomas situation, and Chelsea thinks Hayley is playing games. Why? Yeah. Why does Bill talk about, well, you know, Hayley's impressionable? That is an adult. I get that this is your wife, Bill, but let's call a spade a spade. She's not a child, and she knows what she's doing. But, oh, she's impressionable. I would have done slap him at that table. Anyways, so Chelsea is theorizing that Hayley might feel threatened and pushed out since things are going so well between Bill, Anita, Vernon, and Danny. And Bill's like, I mean, you can see him thinking, Like, oh, that could be. But no. He just continues to defend Hayley, defend her. At some point, Hayley slithered on over to the booth that was, attached to Chelsea's, but she's on the other side. So she's eavesdropping on what they're saying. And she's very pleased to hear that Bill is just, the good old lick that he clearly is, because he just keeps defending, keeps deflecting. So then Chelsea asks Bill about him drifting back towards Danny. Like, what's going on with that? And Bill says, despite what you guys think, basically, nothing's going on with me and Danny. I am happy at home with Hayley. I have a wife. He cares about Danny, but Chelsea's reading this situation and Hayley all wrong. Yeah, we'll see. So, I got my little notes on the computer. So, the craziest thing that happened today was good old Greyson. So Grayson's still in this apartment bleeding out in the bathroom. Ashley has managed to get him in there before her freaking mother, Jan, came over to help with the focaccia and the food. So Jan is just trying to be nice, but I swear this woman has no, awareness. None. Because she can't pick up on cues to save her life. Ashley is clearly panicked, beside herself, trying to get her mother to leave. And Jan's just over there stirring pasta. She's like, oh, you look like, why don't you go do your hair? Oh, the shirt came out good. Why don't you do this and that before Grace? Ashley had to be like, Mom, please, stop. And Jan was like, well, golly, I was just trying to be helpful. That was very rude, Ashley. And Ashley apologizes, but she was like, I'm just really anxious and excited for my date with Greyson, and I don't want you to be here when he gets here. So Jan finally takes a hint. And this is also after Ashley successfully explained that, oh, it wasn't blood on my hand, it was sauce. Yes, very good. So then Jan leaves, and no sooner does she leave than Greyson pops out of this bathroom, and that man passes out right on Ashley's floor. Now, Ashley is strong because she was able to get him up onto her bed, and she patched him up as well as she could because Greyson was still fighting. He was like, no, I'm not going to a doctor. I'm not going to a hospital. This is just going to have to do. Now, he promises that he will tell Ashley what is going on as soon as he can. And she accepts this because what else can she do in the situation? But you can tell Ashley is freaked out. She needs answers, and I need Greyson to give them as soon as he can. He's still ignoring Jacob's calls. He was nice enough to compliment her shirt before taking some more rest. And that's basically how it ends. So Derek was 100% right, and I know Ashley is kicking herself in the tail now. I wonder if she's going to stay with Greyson, y'all. What do you think? And do you think Greyson will tell her the full truth at some point? And will he expose Jacob? I don't know, y'all. Now, I got to go do somebody's hair, but I will catch back up with you guys on Monday. Please like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, and I will see you guys then. Like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.